Hey guys, welcome back. I have been a hunting widow for about 9 days, the last couple weeks. My husband got back, and so we have meat now. Actually, very confusing. He actually has someone else's meat that he is getting ready to. He's getting ready to wrap it and take care of it. So this is the joy of having a husband that likes to hunt. That your kitchen gets full of half butchered meat. But that's not what today is about. Today is actually about making a meal with all of this. I was going to show you, I wanted to show you my cheese and herb wreath. It's like a festive wreath made out of the sourdough bread, and it has cheese and herbs on top of it. And we have made this several times this autumn, and it has been so good. And so I wanted to just introduce that recipe to you guys because it's pretty simple, and I will try and get that on the website for you so you can go and print that one off as well. And then also, I have worked on finding a really good spice combination for the venison. I have never been like a huge fan of venison. I'm sorry. It's true. But I've been working on a really good spice combination. So I've got a dry rub that I have finally figured out. I think I figured out a really good combination that I love. And so I wanted to share this with you also. And we're going to make a good meal out of all this good food. I'll bring you into the garden. We'll grab some lettuce, some fall lettuce that is still growing in the garden. Yay! Because I actually grew fall lettuce this year. And we'll get it all together. So let's get started. So I wasn't sure if I was actually going to show you the pieces of meat in my kitchen, but I just had to show you because I couldn't go through all of this mess without you having a little glimpse of it. So here you go. And know that this is not the only tub of meat. And this is not what it looks like when it is all over the counters being chopped up. And then we have to mop the floors afterwards. So much fun. But you know what? Despite all of the work and the grossness that goes into it, it is really good to have fresh meat and to know that it has come from a good source that, anyways, I could go on and on. I am very glad to have this meat. And so, okay, so with this herb wreath that I was talking about, I started the night before. So last night I put all of my ingredients together into the bowl. This is a combination of both all-purpose einkorn flour and a whole wheat einkorn flour. So I used 3 cups all-purpose to 1 cup whole wheat. And that gives it a little bit of a multi-grain taste, but it's really not enough to make it super noticeable. I don't know that the kids really noticed at all. And with all the herbs inside of it, and then you put the cheese on top, it was just great that way. So anyways, I put this all together the night before. I folded it a few times after letting it kind of rest, because you want the moisture. It takes a lot longer for einkorn to absorb the moisture when you're mixing up a dough. And so you give it a little time to sit and absorb it, and then you go back. And then I went ahead and I folded it a few times to get some air in, and I brought it back into a ball, and then I put it into the bowl and I covered it overnight and just let it sit, said goodnight. And then today, late morning, I finally got back to it. So this morning I fold it again several times, trying to get that air into it as much as possible, because remember, einkorn is not going to rise as easily as modern wheats. And then after I'm done folding it, I will go ahead and I'll roll it into a long stick. Really, it's like a snake, like when you were a little kid and you just make Play-Doh into a snake. And that's what this is. And so you'll want it to be about 15 inches long. I didn't measure it exactly, but I would say it's about 15 inches is the right length. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and start twisting it. After you get it twisted to your liking, you'll bring it, curve it around into a circle and then you can attach the two ends. Now, if it does not turn out like you wanted it to, you can always twist it more while it's in the circle. I've done that. And you can also just kind of let it stretch out again and retwist it all over again. And also know that this is kind of a messy thing. It doesn't have to be perfect, and the twists in it they're not going to be perfect. And that's kind of how it looks so neat when it's done, is because it's not going to be uniform on all sides. You know, it kind of has its own unique look to it. And so don't worry if it's just not perfect. So usually I would put this on a parchment lined baking sheet, but I'm actually out of parchment paper today, and so I went ahead and floured my baking sheet quite a bit, and then I put it onto that, and then I will put my herbs on, not the cheese yet. That we don't do the cheese until right before the oven, and so I just have the herbs on, and then I will cover it up and leave it in a warm place for about 1 to 2 hours to rise. And make sure you turn your oven on about 20 minutes before you are ready to bake it. So while this is rising, I'm going to go ahead and get my spices set up, and I'm going to go ahead and get the lettuce out of the garden. So it's not the most ideal, but I have kept these lettuce leaves alive using this cover. It actually froze here 2 weeks ago or so, and I was able to just cover them up, and these guys are still here, still thriving and doing great, which I will say is a first because I've never done fall gardening before, and so this is kind of the first for me. And it's really nice to be able to come out here and have these kind of be more on their own. I haven't been doing as much to take care of them. You don't have as much weeding to worry about. And so this is pretty nice. And this is going to go perfectly with the steaks. We also had a bunch of cilantro come up that just happened to seed itself from this spring when I had cilantro planted. And so I'm going to get a little bit of that for later. That'll be great to use in some other things. Okay, I have all of the spices ready, except I need to chop up some rosemary that we dried from our front beds. And then I'll also chop up some summer savory that we also dried from the garden. The summer savory is optional, and I say that because I looked all through the stores for summer savory. Like, I looked at several stores and I realized it is a wonderful thing to have, but it's really hard to find. And I actually grew my own, and I'm glad I did, because it is so hard to find. And when you find it, it tends to be more expensive. So that said, if you have summer savory, or if you have a way to get it, definitely add it in. I really think that the flavor of summer savory adds so much to this dry rub. But if you do not have it, don't worry, just use what you have. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up our dried rosemary. For the sake of today, I am actually making a whole jar full of this dry rub so that we'll have it on hand. This is a great thing to give to someone who is a hunter, that you can just use your own herbs and spices and make it for them for Christmas. I have a blog post about making your own, I have a blog post about, okay, now that I have all of my spices and everything ready, I'm going to go ahead and combine it in. Now know that this amount here, I am going to go ahead and put into a jar. This makes a great Christmas gift, as I said. It's just a great gift for a hunter. I'm going to start by using the garlic. And you can get this recipe of the different amounts. I can't even do all the math in my head at the moment, but you can get the different amounts for the recipe all printed off at hilltopinthevalley.com. I'll put the link down below, and so you can click on that and go and just print off the recipe. And while you're there, this one is our garlic and onion powder. While you're there, you will notice that I put the recipe for making a large amount, such as this, and I also will put the recipe for doing just like if you were going to do it for a dinner, so you'll just have enough for the night. This one is our pepper and our salt, lots of salt. And then brown sugar, some kind of a dark sugar such as sucanat. This is coconut sugar. I like the coconut because I love the flavor, and I also love that it has great minerals in it. So put that one in. So what we're trying to do is get both a savory flavor and a sweet flavor in there. And this one is smoked paprika. And then finally, our rosemary and summer savory. Just mix that up. Make sure you don't have any lumps in there. I am so sorry, but my microphone lost power during this recording. But I just wanted to hop on and tell you that my Einkorn for a Cozy Winter ebook is out on sale now, and this is the only time of year that it comes out. So if you are interested in looking into this ebook, it's got sourdough cinnamon roll recipe, it's got the chicken pot pie, the chocolate chip skillet cookie recipe, it has the farmhouse buttermilk biscuits, so much more. So it has so many recipes for comfort food that you can make using einkorn flour, the ancient grain. If you want to check out and see what this ebook has, you can go to the website Hilltop in the Valley and you can look it up there. You can see inside of it a little bit. And I really hope that these recipes will help you to have something close by during your baking during the holiday season and during the winter season when you just want a little bit of comfort food. So you can go to some great einkorn recipes. thank you for making dinner with me today. This has been fun. And we are almost in the holiday season. I mean, we are practically in the holiday season. And so it'll be fun to transition next week. I have some really fun things for you coming up as we get into all of the festivities. And so I hope you guys will come along with me. And I will talk to you again soon.